Bye.
Folks, welcome back to the Food Forest Farm. I'm here at Noth. It's been a long time since we've made a farm vlog. We've just been getting on with life, transitioning from our market garden business into focusing on setting up the full 8 acres here as an edible landscape, focusing on food forest design. We're still growing our veg for home use. We're no longer doing the veg boxes right now. We've got our goats still who have been dried off for the last 1.5 years with the arrival of our daughter Lily. We are just carrying on as normal with everything that we've got to do here on the farm to keep the place shipshape. Just now Rosa and I have been in this area which is the bottom of the old market garden, cutting back the grasses and the ducks and the nettles. We had been planning on making this area into a tree nursery, and that is still the plan. We just had to put it on the back boiler and made a few pop-up nurseries higher up this field where we've been putting cuttings and grafting apple trees, but the plan is to have a much larger nursery, and this section here is where we're hoping to do that next year. And so we've just been cutting all of that down, and we're going to cover this with our black silage sheets, black tarps, let all this organic matter break down, and then next year, if all goes to plan, we will get making beds here, make the soil much better, and start our tree nursery. Anyway, great fun having a scything session with Lily on Rosa's back. We're still pretty new to scything. It's definitely something we have to get a bit more used to, the technique. So we purposely got blades which are more suited to cutting rough grasses and thistles and docks, and having to compete with the odd stone, because that's what our farm is like. We don't have many areas of flat meadow grass. We've got lots of variation. Alright, so with Lily fast asleep, Rosa's decided to head into the tunnel to do some work in here. I'm going to carry on scything in a minute, but just thought I'd bring you in and let you see the tunnel. Quite a few changes in the tunnel here over the last 6 months, but just to bring you back up to speed, and for those of you who are maybe new to the channel, this is our main large polytunnel. We have one more tunnel that we bought a decade ago, which is much smaller than this, but we bought this tunnel around the beginning of our market garden business, which we have currently paused to concentrate on other ventures. And for the last 6 years, the design of this tunnel was 15 meter long beds, 15 meter by 75 centimeter wide, and we had about 4 or 5 of them in here. And it was crucial for our business. Obviously we're in northern Scotland at a high elevation with very unpredictable weather, and growing certain crops indoors is a unfortunate necessity underneath plastic to be able to provide certain vegetables to people, like tomatoes and French beans and courgettes. They do a lot better indoors in Scotland. But now that we've decided to rein it back on the vegetable production and just focus on food production for our family, and last year we decided to reorientate the beds. Instead of running east to west along the length, we've made smaller beds running north to south, and we're being a lot more experimental with our plantings. We're integrating a lot more vegetables together, and we're really enjoying it. This has been turning into a fantastic family space. As you see, we've got this pond that I recently dug in the background. We've got to get some pond plants in there. It's not finished yet, but it will be a lovely little oasis in this hot polytunnel, which is so important to us in our northerly cold climate of Scotland. It's so great to have a warm space to come to. We've even got a double bed, which is doubling as a nursery bed at the moment, but there's a nice place to sit and take the weight off and catch some rays. Did I say that? It's a nice place to sit and catch some sunshine, and it's a great place for Lily to come and play. We can get some work done, and Lily loves being in here. It's warm, it's sheltered, and there's lots of things for her to play with, like buckets of water and hose pipes and just playing around with the soil. Great place for us as a family to come to now more than ever. So I'm going to leave you here with Rosa. I'm going to go and carry on doing the scything.
So I'm just stringing up the tomatoes. Well, I'm not stringing them up, I'm putting the bits of string and the pins in the ground, and then James is going to tie them up because I can't reach the crop bars. Thought we'd update you on some of the stuff that we got growing in the polytunnel this year. Just got our tomatoes out, and because they've been inside for so long, they're a little bit unhealthy looking. So we'll see how they go, but actually one of the bonuses of what James was saying about the fact that we've now got these different beds that are a bit shorter and a little bit more mixed in the polytunnel is we've been able to be a little bit more creative than we could with the veg box. There's a lot of things we've self-seeded that went to seed last year, loads of tomatoes fell on the ground, and we've got all these tiny little tomato seedlings that, despite all the cold weather out here, have actually germinated. I haven't weeded them out the beds when I've been weeding, so I've left them. Maybe we'll just see how they go and might replace some of the ones that we've tended to. It also means that we've got these kind of diverse spreads of herbs and salad leaves surrounding some of the perennials that we've been putting in here. One of the things I've been really enjoying this year is the fact that because we've got a little bit more kind of bare soil to experiment with, just being able to kind of scatter either saved seed or just leftover seed we have that's quite old. It just means that it doesn't really matter if the germination rate isn't that great. Eventually some of them germinate and I can prick them out, or just leave them as we have with kind of the dill and lovage and oregano and things that are just all around the fig trees here. We've had a really nice salad bed in here, although all of it's now going to flower because it's finally warmed up. That's been such a joy with Lillian. She's been really eating everything around the farm really, and that's been just such a joy to watch, because now she just heads on over to the salad bed and grabs herself what are really spicy red mustard leaves and chews on the stems for her teething. So yeah, it's really nice seeing her just pick up so much from, I guess, watching us and just getting that freedom in here, because it is such a nice space to be. So with all that, it does mean that we're having to kind of just work with the moment, or for me it's just kind of working with a moment that I suddenly have to quickly sow a seed or do a bit of weeding wherever Lillian happens to be hanging out. So it's a different way of working, but it's actually really nice because it keeps you in the moment. So things are changing a lot, but we're really enjoying it, and hopefully this polytunnel's gonna get increasingly interesting as all these different perennial crops grow in here, so we'll see.
Right, that's this little field all scythed down. I'm gonna go back into the tunnel, see if the wee one has woken up yet.
Hello! Hello! Hey, what are you doing? Are you awake?
Yeah!
Let's play with some water.
On my back every day for the last months, watching me water with this hose before we had the...
You got me! You got me!
Before we had the overheads plugged in, I was watering at every day. She watched and watched and watched, and then about 4 or 5 days ago, she just got excited, picked up the hose that I'd left on, just on sprinkle, and she was standing, watering the plants. I feel like she'd been taking all the information in, and now she can't go past the hose without using it now. It's useful. So I actually noticed as I was stringing up the tomatoes that one of them has perished already. Come and help. We may also lose some tomatoes to the Lillian. I've located the biggest, best self-seeded tomato in the bed here. I'm just going to dig this out and plant it where the other one perished. There we go. If we could just rely on self-seeded tomatoes, because let's be honest, I just threw loads of tomatoes on the ground last year and didn't think about picking them up.
Alright, so as Rosa was saying, we are adding perennials to the polytunnel. We can take advantage of the different microclimate that we have in here, and we can experiment with growing trees and shrubs that we certainly wouldn't be able to do very well outside. So for instance, we've got a peach, which we've started the process of fan training against the end of the polytunnel here. Planted this last year. This one is peregrine, so that's growing away really well. We have also planted a hardy kiwi, although not so hardy. It's this little guy down here. We planted it out and it was really enjoying life, and then a frost got into the tunnel and knocked it right back down to the ground again. We have got some figs and they're just coming into leaf now. And we've planted a couple of grapes, a couple of grapevines in here. This one is muscat blue, and we've got a white grape on the other side. And then we've got this almond, again a very hardy variety of almond, robin, growing incredibly well in here. And of course we're going to have to keep them quite small. These could be very large trees if we allow them, but it's got this space to be able to mature into, and we'll keep it pruned. So slowly becoming a very nice space to be in.